Hey guys, it is Saturday here on Pagan Perspective, and I'm your Saturday host Brendan, and this week we are talking about justice. So this week our question has come in regards to whether, as a pagan, or the greater pagan community, whether we are more based in a restorative justice system or a punitive justice system, and what aligns more with our belief systems and our practices. Having watched all the videos this week, there is a lot of amazing material, and I'm not even really sure what is left to be said by me. But yeah, I encourage you to go back, watch everyone's videos this week, even JD subbing in for Yucca. Check all of it out. And for me, justice, I suppose, being devoted to Themis, who is one of the titans from the Greek traditions, really natural order and balance, and is often, there's this beautiful statue in the city where I live, which I wanted to film in front of, but it is impossible to do that without being distracted, but Themis is the justice statue, and it's really quite interesting that for a system that I don't really believe, this punitive system, I think it has a time and a place, but it has really taken a lot of the power out of the hands of the people and those that are really present within the law, and put it into the hands of people who are paid lots of money to either win for the guilty to make them look innocent, or don't really serve justice, to be honest. They're more out there to either, there's those that are like the actual warriors of justice that are doing the right thing within the system and are supporting those that have been wronged or incorrectly charged. That sort of process. For anyone that like falls into that punitive system that we seem to have so present here, at least in Australia, it's kind of very ridiculous, to be honest. It's the very find on the spot sort of police presence within this country is insane, and a lot of it just goes straight into the system to generate money, to just keep churning those wheels and buttering those palms and or greasing, to be greasing those palms, and that whole entire system that's happening. And for me, though, in like my beliefs and everything, restorative is very much and more aligned with where I am with a lot of my practice and process. And restorative being that there is a place for rehabilitation for anyone that has wronged another person or a community, that there is that opportunity for rehabilitation, re-education, and really helping the perpetrator and the perpetrated to be able to move on with their lives and to be able to transition and feel that justice has been served justly and not incorrectly, and that in doing that it actually helps prevent further crimes or injustices and moves into being able to have more of a solid foundational community where hopefully crime rates drop and incidents change, where there's no longer like theft and all of that, or if there is theft, it's balanced out. There is some exchange that will happen that will equalize it all. And I think it's that, like with a lot of the practices, energetic exchange. It comes back to that energetic exchange. Someone was wronged in energy, matter, whatever it is has been taken from them, and they're seeking to have that restored, or that it's acknowledged and that a process of restoration happens and that they can move on. And I feel that from a community base, and like I think JD mentioned, like smaller communities, restorative justice really works well from that front. And I think it's come back to the responsibility that the community is responsible for justice. And we live in a society where punitive justice is, we've put that power into the hands of others. We've really given our right to justice away, in a sense. We've given it to the police, to the lawmakers, to those people that probably, like, police, I can understand that general people in everyday life, but they have a whole system that they have to follow, but more the politicians that aren't really representative of the people that they're meant to be helping create laws for, change laws for. They, especially here in Australia, they seem to be so out of touch with the everyday person and their needs and their desires, and it's more looking at just how can I generate more money and how can I do this by changing laws and regulations to better serve them, which in a way is injustice. And Kara spoke a lot about social justice in her video, and its relationship with reclaiming, which I'm greatly aligned with as well. So really having that restorative system for social justice, being able to speak out, it's really that's where activism comes back in. It's that communities are taking back that power of justice. They're speaking out, they're protesting, they're petitioning. It's a way that we are looking at restoring justice, and a part of how we are taking restorative justice back into our own control so that we can kind of balance and feed out a restorative punitive justice system. Like Megan mentioned, there is particular cases where we need a punitive justice system. There's those rare cases, serial killers. I would even say people that are like fraud and all these sort of crimes where they really don't care who they're damaging in the process. It's more they don't have any resentment, they don't have any regrets. They're not even going to be responsible for their actions, so they're kind of even beyond a restorative justice system, and that's where there is that clear black and white punitive. Well, I say black and white punitive, and that is a complete lie, because there is often loopholes, and it is often a grey area, as much as we can make it. Trying to make it black and white, but there is always that grey area. But really having more a structured system that would punish them, even though it doesn't always punish them the way that it probably should. So, yeah. Justice and law is a very difficult area, and I wish I knew a lot more about it, and will continue reading about it, having read a bunch for this and watched all the videos and all of that. But, yeah, it's a challenge and a process, and I think, yeah, for me it is I'm more in line with restorative, but I also support a punitive system where it is required. And it's kind of, punitive is either going to be used in an extreme case or a last kind of finale closing of justice, where restorative work hasn't been successful. But yeah, I think that's mostly what I have for this week. Go check everyone else's videos out. Next week you will see 2 new faces here, and yeah, subs week it'll be exciting. But yeah, for now, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I know I'm going to, but for now, much love and blessings, and blessed be. Mwah.